I need you to help me split these 7 midfielders. This week for fantasy football, I've only got 4 spots available for 2 teams of 5-a-side fantasy football. And between the 7 midfielders I've got available to choose from, I cannot split them. There's so many different dynamics going on here for home teams, guys that have played midweek, guys that are rested, guys that are hot as the sun in terms of their form at the moment. And genuinely, between the 2 teams I've got to pick, these 7 guys, I cannot split any of them for love nor money. And I thought, what a great opportunity to do a little video where we can look at the profile of all 7 of these guys, and together we can work out the ranking system. Who should be number 1 all the way down to 7, who should make the team and who shouldn't. At any point in the video, if you laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe to the channel, share and retweet and all that good stuff, guys. We're pushing for 10,000 subscribers and we cannot do that without your support, guys. So yeah, let's just get stuck straight into it. Now, in no particular order, the first midfielder that I think is probably, for me, the one on paper most people are going to gravitate towards a little bit, and that is Marc Roca. Now, Marc Roca has come into Real Betis since being at Leeds, who got relegated, and before that at Bayern Munich and all the rest of it. But he is a very dominant La Liga midfielder. He's shown that when he was at Espanyol. That's what got him the Bayern Munich transfer. And in Manuel Pellegrini's Real Betis, he has already shown this season that he can be a key player in a top 4, top 5 team in La Liga. He contributes everything from winning duels, tackles, final third passing, and he's also starting to contribute with a couple of goals here and there. He's getting an assist. He does it at home, he does it away. He's a mainstay midfielder. He's one of these guys that gets on the ball lots and does lots of minor actions as well as significant ones. So when I see that Real Betis are at home to Mallorca, who is very famously not a good away team. Real Betis just played like a 5th tier side in the cup and won 12-1. Roca come off the bench to score a wee token penalty. So they're well rested and ready to go. It feels like Roca is very safe, like a guy that on the Sorare scoring matrix here, if he got a decisive action like a goal or an assist, he's going to get himself to a decisive score of about 60 points or so. In a match where he dominates, in a match where Real Betis are the dominant team, the superior force in the fixture, it can get between 10 and 20 points in all-around action as well. So I see Marc Roca as a player that can very comfortably get between 70 and 80 points. Whereabouts in that range, I'm not entirely sure, but that's kind of where I see him. The next 2 players are very much hot on form at the moment and starting to really make a name for themselves, not just in their domestic league, but maybe a wee bit further afield. The first one maybe isn't quite a household name yet, and his name is Renier. He is currently playing for Frosinone on loan from Real Madrid. One of these Brazilian wonder kids who's unfortunately not made the grade at the first team in Real, and he's been out on loan last season at Girona, and now this season at Frosinone. He's played 3 games, and in his first 3 games, as you can see here, if he does get a decisive score, his AA is typically around the 20 mark. So this is a guy that with 1 decisive action has the ability to get around 80 points. And like in the last game against Cagliari, he got 2 assists and got just under 90 points. A great scoring profile here. Frosinone play a cup match tonight against Torino, which, as far as midweek cup games go, that's one of the strongest ones I've seen. If Renier plays tonight, they then have a game against Empoli this coming weekend, which is a very good fixture where, again, with a decisive action, we could easily see him scoring 80 points quite firmly. But it's this cup game that's about to happen tonight that makes me hesitate, because if he plays 90 minutes on Thursday night and then he's playing on a Sunday, he's not had that many minutes this season, so I'm not too worried about his individual fatigue, but maybe the overall ability of the team. The team isn't someone who, you know, has built a squad to manage quick turnaround of fixtures like that. So although individually I really believe that he doesn't need much to go right and he delivers the score that I'm after, I do worry about the squad and maybe this kind of 4-day turnaround I've got for 2 big matches. And how good is this? The guys at QuinnBet have enhanced their UK welcome offer where you can now get a free bet up to £35. It's for new customers that sign up only. You can check out all the terms and conditions on the website, quinbet.com, or by clicking on the link that's in the description of this video. By clicking on that link, you support all the content here at the channel, so I thank you in advance if you do so. It looks really impressive to me, but it is 18 plus, and remember folks, always gamble responsibly. And again, on equally as good form, 100% a household name, and he is making waves all across Europe and the Premier League this year for one of the most in-form and easily lovable teams. I'm talking, of course, about John McGinniesta at Aston Villa. The 29-year-old Scotsman is on fantastic form at the moment. Aston Villa have had no midweek games, which is probably the first time that McGinn has had like a week off. He's been in phenomenal form. Look at this over the last 3 months, especially for club and country. This will show very, very good scoring. As we know with McGinn, he does a little bit of everything. He tackles, he intercepts, he wins duels, he progresses the ball up the pitch, and he's also playing the ball into the box. He's getting some assists, he's taking some shots, getting them on target, and we've got some goals coming lately as well. He's a guy that can do a little bit of everything, and away to Nottingham Forest, with the form Aston Villa are in, 4 goals against West Ham, 4 goals against AZ, 3 goals against Luton. Aston Villa feel good for 3 or 4 goals. Away to Nottingham Forest, but isn't as easy a fixture as it probably looks on the face of it. Yes, Aston Villa probably are going to beat them when it's all said and done, but Premier League opposition, you definitely can never write it off. It is the Premier League, and just that's never the way it goes. It never always goes by the book. But McGinn, again as well, without a decisive, I'm not too sure he gets enough AA in the match. We've seen before, like, he can score quite low. He really needs Aston Villa to be a team that's winning 3 and 4 goals, and he can deliver those types of scores. So does that Aston Villa show up? McGinn will be well rested. He'll be in the starting 11. We know that. And it is a good game on paper, but you know, the Premier League factor comes into it also. The next player we've got to look at is more of a wonder kid. He is Atletico Madrid's Rodrigo Riquelme. Shot to prominence last year at Girona, and he was playing as a number 10, scoring worldies, creating some lovely goals. But Simeone's got him playing like left mid, left wing, filling in for the departed Yannick Carrasco. Not departed, like, but, you know, he's left. They've sold him. Came off the bench and looked good against Celtic. Scored against Alaves there at the weekend. And upcoming Atletico Madrid are playing Las Palmas. He's going to be playing in that position. And it's an attacking role. You know, he's going to be getting in the final third. He gets plenty of points when he does that. And if he is also able to get himself a decisive action, like a goal or even an assist, like you can see here, he is equally as capable of getting over that 75-point mark, like we've seen with the last 3 guys so far in this to-do list. Or to-rank list, sorry. Atletico Madrid away to Las Palmas should be a very good game for a player like this, who on his day as well, if he does really hit off, you know, he can hit huge scores as well. And for fantasy football, his average form and not being that high gives him an extra piece of, oh, he could be extra useful in one of the divisions. One of the talks of European football this season has been Girona, and one of their mainstays, one of their main men in midfield has been Yangel Herrera. The 25-year-old signed there on a permanent transfer in the summer after being on loan. And, you know, he's loving life in Girona alongside Aleix Garcia. They are the engine room of this team. They're very distinctive when you watch them. They really run the tempo. And like you can see here, he is a guy that can win the game. He is a guy that can get in the box, score the goal, make the assist, do the thing. But it's maybe not quite as frequent as you would maybe like to think. And maybe not as frequent as some of the other guys that we've got here. But Girona are in the top part of the table. They rotated heavily for their cup game yesterday, I think it was, against like a team, a high school or something, I think they were playing. And this weekend, they're away to Osasuna. Now, Osasuna are not a high-scoring team. Traditionally, they're not involved in many high-scoring matches. So if somebody like Yangel Herrera and Girona coming as the away team can get on the ball and get a bit of possession, there's every chance in the world that he can get those types of all-around scores that a John McGinn can, where he's winning duels, getting a tackle and interception, playing some balls into the box, and like he done last weekend, if he can get a goal, or even if he can lay it on for a teammate and get an assist, then equally he's got every chance of really popping off as hard as everyone else I've got here. It will be a game of not too many goals, so it's more a risk on, does he get involved specifically, similar to McGinn. And I think comparing Yangel here, he's got worse of a downside than McGinn. Compared to McGinn, when he doesn't deliver, he can still get a 56 a wee bit more regularly, a 50 or a 54. Whereas Yangel, it's a wee bit more 41, 38-ish, isn't it? So maybe that's something to look at. Now, the last 2 guys here are ones where it's knowing the player, it's knowing the fixture, it's knowing the occasion. And one of my favourite players, this season, has been Brais Mendes. And Real Sociedad have been a joy to watch in Champions League and in La Liga this weekend, but they welcome Barcelona. And maybe Sociedad don't win this match, but they're going to go toe-to-toe with Barcelona. They're going to try and win the game, and I think both teams are going to score. I don't think that's going to take a genius to agree with me there. And Brais Mendes is the main man at Sociedad. Taki Kubo gets a lot of the plaudits, a lot of the recognition, but the David Silva regen that is Brais Mendes in the last 3 months here for Champions League and in the league for Real Sociedad. His average score out of 100 is incredible. He does get involved in decisive actions. He does take some set pieces. He is very selfless. He's a fantastic team player. And he gets some tackles. He gets some interceptions. As you can see here, he doesn't mind getting booked. He's feisty. For a wee guy, for a wee playmaker, he does do some of the defensive work as well. And against Barca, you need somebody that can do both ends of the game to be a big-time player that can pay off. The reverse fixture last year, Barca did a number on them, so that's maybe worth noting. But because of the way the wee man plays, as long as it's a feisty game and he's involved in enough of the action, then I'm really confident Bryce is a player that can turn up in a big game and be even multi-decisive. He's not shy and he's always going forward. He's very aggressive. So a very aggressive attacking midfielder that can get some tackles and that kind of thing, get significant minutes on the pitch and an all-out encounter is always a guy that I'm going to find really difficult to not put in a big team, because I could see him turning up in a big way and helping himself to an 80 and 82 point score. It's probably more likely the best case scenario is like a 63 or a 70, but this is going to be a game of all-out attack. I think it's going to be maybe 2 each, 3-2 to one of the teams involved. It's going to be really hard to split them. And the last player I've got to select, again, is in a very, very difficult fixture. It is Der Klassiker. FC Bayern are going to be playing Borussia Dortmund, and Thomas Tuchel's Bayern are kind of in a weird position. Kane and Sané are on amazing form, and they are blowing everyone away before them. But Tuchel, the recruitment, everything's a bit off everywhere else. There's some funny injuries as well. Kimmich is suspended for this game. And Leon Goretzka had some sort of wacky finger break injury thing. He had to go get surgery. He's back in training. He's back for this game. And he is a big-time player for the big occasion. And I'm not too sure how this game's going to go. I wouldn't be surprised if Borussia Dortmund did go on and win it. But Leon Goretzka is a man that does everything in the midfield. He's box to box. He could maybe do with getting a couple more goals and assists in his recent kind of track record. He's not had maybe enough of them for me, but he's definitely capable of them. He's definitely got them in his locker. And, you know, there might be a change in dynamic because there's no Kimmich. He'll be playing alongside Leimer, and maybe both of them have got slightly different roles than what we've seen before, and we can maybe see him bag himself. Again, I think Goretzka could get 70 points quite easily. Last season, when Goretzka played Borussia Dortmund, he scored 60 points and 80 points respectively. And I think the 80 points was a 2 each draw. He only got 1 decisive action, but he was involved very heavily defensively, making clearances, winning duels, etc. He's a very strong, imposing player. And Borussia Dortmund have got a good midfield, but he's he's going to need to be combative against them. So I believe he's got the potential to do just as well, really, as everyone else I've looked at here, because like I said earlier, I've got 2 teams to pick. I've only got 4 spots for midfield, and I've got all 7 of these guys to choose from. Who would you pick? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Are you going to take the dribbling or the attacking flair types like a Renier or a Rodrigo Riquelme? Easy for me to say. And Brais Mendes. Or is it going to be more of the Mark Roca, the McGinney Esta, the Yangel Herrera, those kind of rocks at the back? You know, those ones that go box to box, but they're maybe a wee bit more pass the ball left to right, get some of the nice defensive duels in transition, build up a wee bit more AA, and maybe a bit less likely to be influential in the final third. Or, as I say, is it Goretzka? Maybe bring Brais into that angle as well, and you go for the big player in the big game. On screen there now, some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and retweet, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.